Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's debate. Our topic is an important and exciting one. Should you live in an English-speaking country to speak English fluently, or can you achieve fluency in your own country? We have two experts here to discuss the matter. On my right, we have Arnold, who believes that living in an English-speaking country is essential to mastering the language. On my left, we have John, who argues that fluency can be achieved even without living in such a country. Let's begin with opening statements. Arnold, you may start.
Thank you, and I'm thrilled to be here today. I strongly believe that living in an English-speaking country is crucial if you want to achieve true fluency in English. Why? Because language is not just about vocabulary and grammar. It's about using it in real-life situations within a cultural context. In an English-speaking country, you're forced to use English daily. Whether you're ordering coffee, asking for directions, or having casual conversations with friends, these interactions speed up your learning. You're surrounded by native speakers who naturally model the language for you, and you get to hear it in its most natural form. No online lesson or app can fully replicate the immersive experience of living in such a country.
Thanks for the introduction, Arnold. I have to respectfully disagree. While it's true that living in an English-speaking country offers opportunities for immersion, it is absolutely possible to achieve fluency in your own country. With the technology we have today, there are countless ways to practice English without leaving home. We have access to online courses, language exchange platforms, YouTube, movies, podcasts, and even AI tools that help us improve our speaking and listening skills. The key is consistency and finding ways to interact with native speakers or people who speak fluently. Additionally, learning English isn't just about the environment. It's about the effort and discipline you put in. You can create your own immersive experience, even in a non-English speaking country.
Interesting perspectives from both sides. Arnold, I see your point about immersion in an English-speaking country, but John brings up a great argument regarding technology and the resources available in today's world. Arnold, how would you respond to that?
I totally acknowledge that technology has made language learning more accessible, but there's one thing that technology can't replace, the pressure of needing to communicate in real time. In an English-speaking country, you don't have the luxury of switching back to your native language when you feel stuck. You must find a way to communicate. That level of necessity and urgency accelerates learning. Sure, you can watch movies and listen to podcasts at home, but what about those spontaneous moments? The social dynamics and casual conversations you have on a daily basis in an English-speaking country, these can't be replicated in the same way.
That's a fair point, but I believe we're living in a time when immersion isn't limited to physical proximity. You can practice English in real-time situations through online language exchange platforms where you can chat with native speakers. Apps like Duolingo, HelloTalk, and even Zoom calls with friends from around the world can provide a similar experience. The beauty of the digital age is that it brings the world to your fingertips. For example, I have had conversations with people from all over the world, and each interaction has helped me grow. What's more, you can watch English language TV shows, movies, and YouTube channels that expose you to a wide range of accents, slang, and cultural references. All these things come together to create a rich learning environment without ever needing to leave your country.
Great points from both of you. Arnold, what do you think about the idea that the digital world and modern tools can bring the immersion experience to your home?
Yes, digital tools can help to a certain extent, but there's something about living in an English-speaking country that goes beyond just learning the language. It's about cultural context and understanding how English is intertwined with people's way of life. When you're in an English-speaking country, you're not only learning how to speak the language, you're learning how to live in it. You see how the language is used in various situations, the nuances, the humor, the gestures. This type of real-world practical exposure is priceless. You might be able to learn the language through apps, but you won't be able to pick up the same level of cultural understanding.
I understand that cultural context is important, but we have to remember that English is a global language. It's spoken in so many countries, and the majority of people who speak it are non-native speakers. Even when you live in an English-speaking country, there's no guarantee you'll experience all aspects of the culture. For example, you might only be exposed to a very specific dialect or accent, but through technology, you have access to multiple varieties of English, British, American, Australian, and more. You can learn from people all over the world, gaining a much broader understanding of how English is used in different contexts.
Arnold, John makes a valid point about the variety of English dialects and the opportunity to interact with people globally. How do you respond to that?
Yes, there are different dialects of English, but when you live in an English-speaking country, you're immersed in one of those dialects. And that's often what matters most. You experience how native speakers talk, their slang, their expressions, and you get used to it in a way that feels natural. Of course, exposure to different dialects is important, but it's the foundation of being surrounded by native speakers that sets you up for success. That's why living in an English-speaking country can give you an edge.
I see where you're coming from, but I would still argue that you don't have to physically be in an English-speaking country to build that foundation. You can find communities online, participate in virtual events, and even speak with people who are fluent in English. It's about making the effort to surround yourself with English in your daily life, whether you're watching media, interacting with native speakers online, or reading books. The world has changed, and geography is no longer a limitation.
We're nearing the end of our debate, and both of you have made excellent arguments. Arnold, let's hear your closing thoughts.
In conclusion, I believe that living in an English-speaking country provides an irreplaceable experience. It offers a level of immersion and cultural exposure that can't be fully replicated online. The language is tied to the people, their history, and their culture. To truly master it, we need to be surrounded by it in everyday life.
While I respect Arnold's viewpoint, I still stand by the idea that we can absolutely achieve fluency in our own country. Thanks to technology, we have access to endless resources and a global community of English speakers. We don't have to be physically present in an English-speaking country to speak it fluently. We just need to be committed to our learning journey.
Thank you both for this enlightening debate. It's clear that there are different paths to fluency, and the most important thing is to stay dedicated to learning no matter where you are. That's all for tonight's discussion. Thank you to our audience and participants. Have a great evening.